Hey guys, it's Joseph back with another video, and today I'm about to show you a few videos of me and my brother building an $1,100 computer. Now, before you get all sketchy and stuff, this isn't actually $1,100, but I'm just assuming it is because this is a rebuild of an old computer that I built from last year. Now, I did not record it last year just because I wanted to kind of take it all in for myself since I've never actually built a computer before in my life. But now, since I was rebuilding it, I thought this was a perfect chance to be able to record it and post on here since I never really post anything on my channel much. But I thought this was a great opportunity to be able to. I hope you enjoyed. I worked really hard on it, and yeah. Anyways, let's start the video. So I just took out the motherboard out of the case, and I'm about to unscrew these screws right now. So I'll then, after that, I'll take out the CPU, clean it up, and then we'll go to the next step. So I'll go do that right now. Almost forgot to unplug it. And there we go. We took it off. I don't know what this stuff can handle. Probably not too dangerous. Okay, so I took out the CPU and I removed all the thermal paste off of it and the CPU itself. And I'm just gonna, the reason why I put it in there because I'm actually gonna place this down. And I'm going to actually take out all the power supply cables and even the optic drive. So after that, then we'll start getting to the other case. So we'll do all that in just a second. So I put the panel back on because I am going to be putting the case on the floor, or actually my brother is. So here's the power supply, took that out, and I also took out all the modular cables, and then there's the SSD, and then I'm going to put the RAM back in just a little bit, and then, let's see, oh yeah, I didn't really record myself taking out the optic drive because it's not really that important or entertaining, so I kind of just did that. And then, Jordan, I don't know what you're doing. Anyways, that is basically it, and then we will now finally start on this case, so we'll get that started right now. Okay, so we're now about to install the CPU, so I'll take this little cover off since I didn't want any dust or particles getting on it while I was taking out the power supply and all that stuff. So there we go. Of course, you don't want any dust particles on those things because that's really delicate. So. All right. CPU is always the fun part on putting in the putting into the motherboard. It's always like the first step and the best. Alright, so we'll close the socket now. Gotta be careful because since this is delicate too. Alright, sweet. We just installed our CPU now. So that's good. So now, let's see. So now, I'll get ready to put this into the case, and then we'll kind of proceed to the next steps. But oh, and of course I have to put in the RAM. So we just put in the motherboard. There were a few problems with the screws, but we were able to put it in, so that was good. And then next we will be able to put in the liquid cooler and a few LED fans that I also got extra. So we'll get that done. Now, of course, you're probably wondering, why does it stop there? Well, I'm about to explain that to you. So when we installed the CPU cooler, of course, everything worked out well whenever I put the fans on the radiator and I screwed all that in, but everything kind of went downhill once I put on the actual pump. Now, of course, if you know computers, you'll know that every single CPU cooler comes with a backplate, standoffs, and extra screws to screw the actual pumper, the other stuff on it. Now, whenever we actually screwed in the screws that go onto the standoffs, it appears that it actually got stuck onto it, and the back plate, there's actually little notches where you can change the size because some motherboards have different sizes, and that's what those notches are for. Anyway, so after we screwed it in, the little notch that it's on the back plate actually got detached from the actual backplate itself, and it actually started screwing with this screw, which was a complete disaster. And so we tried everything, but it would not get undetached, and it just was a complete disaster. And luckily, my brother was able to help me out with that, and finally, just finally, we were able to remove the notch from the screw, and we were able to get it all back together. And of course, I forgot to mention this, but thermal paste was pre-applied actually on the pump, so I was freaking out on if the thermal paste was smearing everywhere, but luckily whenever we were able to take the pump off, everything was fine. Thermal paste was just on the CPU but nowhere else, and I'm very happy for that because I did not want to start cleaning up everything, but mostly I'm just glad that of course the CPU is fine and the pump is fine, so that's really good. Now, of course, you're probably getting bored of me talking, but before I finish, I just want to summarize real quick on just how the build went during a few nights ago. Now, after we installed the CPU cooler, I just put in the power supply, connected all the modular cables, and plugged them all into the motherboard. Pretty simple. Nothing too hard, except, of course, for putting the side panel on, which was kind of annoying, but I was able to get that on, so that was good. Then after the power supply, I just put in the graphics card, and I just screwed everything in, and then I was finally finished, basically, with the whole build, but it was already 2 in the morning after I finished everything, and I just couldn't do anymore, so I went to bed, and so did my brother, and the next day, or I guess a few hours, since it was already the next day, we got up, and then of course I plugged everything in, and I turned it on, and it was great. I really was happy that I finally was able to rebuild it, and especially rebuild it with my brother, since I didn't get to build it with him last year, but this year I was finally able to, and so that was really fun. Now, I'm finally done boring you out, so let me just say one more thing, and then I will be done. In a few seconds, I'm about to show you a cinematic. Now, this cinematic took probably about an hour, maybe. I don't really know how long, but it may not look good at first, but I tried my best, and of course, I only did it with my phone since I don't have actual good cameras or any recording device to do it on. So I did my best, and hope you appreciate it. But I hope you like it, and anyways, enjoy.
Every step you take